Hey guys, and welcome to College Algebra. So a couple things you need to know first is on this homepage, the first thing you need to know is how to get into Pearson, where everything lives in your homework. The next thing you need to know is that if anytime you need help, you can reach out to me. Here's my information, my email, my office phone. All right, and then if you ever want to book a meeting with me and you don't come to campus regularly, especially if you don't come to campus regularly, you can book a meeting with me by clicking on this button right here. That'll take you to my calendar. You can jump on and pick a day, pick a time, and then when you do that, you will fill out your name. Please, when you provide your email, please provide your school email, and then you can do the office phone. You can come to my office, or we can schedule a Zoom call. Please tell me what class you're in when you're coming, and then let me know what the purpose of the meeting is. And every one of these meetings is only 15 minutes long, but if you can, like, optional comment, if you need longer than 15 minutes, you can tell me, hey, I need longer than 15 minutes, and as soon as I get the invite, I'll extend it. But most people will just pop in and pop out, so that's why it's so short. But if you need more time, we can have more time. So just let me know. And then this is my schedule for the spring. So if you want to pop in, you can come during any of my office hours. If I'm not in class, I'm in my office. So there's that. All right. Now, before I get into how this class is laid out, I'm going to go over a couple things on syllabus. So on syllabus, you also have this page navigation, so you can scroll through this and jump around as much as you want. So the thing I'm going to point out to you first is your expectation, because this is an online class and because it's an 8-week class. All right, we're going to have classes. We're going to have a lot of content every week, and currently the way I have it set up is that you have one assignment for each week, but that's for attendance purposes only. Everything else, the first half of assignments are going to be due before the midterm. The second half of the assignments are going to be due before the final. Okay, so just be aware of that. No makeup exams will be given. You only have 2 tests, the midterm and the final. No makeups will be given. You need to, whenever the schedule goes out, you need to put your time down and go ahead and book that, and then get it done. And then if you know you're going to have some issues with it, you need to let me know ahead of time, but don't wait until exam week or after the exams, all right, because I have to get grades in. So if you punt it and keep putting it off, I'm not going to be able to help you. So in this class, or in any math class here at Northwest, we only allow certain type of calculators, and they're scientific, and it has to be one of these 3. The bookstore sells the one on the right, and I recommend that one. If you try to bring a graphing calculator in there, you will not be able to use it, and you will have wasted your money. Hopefully you can get it back. Again, because this is an online class, you should expect to have technical difficulties, because from time to time, the sites that we use on a regular basis go down for one reason or another. All right, so be prepared. And my encouragement is to go ahead and start your assignments early in the week. That way you have something there. And if you wait Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're trying to get stuff in under the wire, all right, things, you may go in and find the size down. It may cut off while you're in the middle of it, and then that's it. That's part of technology. That's part of being an online class, and that is not a reason for me to open things up. All right, I am happy to open things up if you have a legitimate excuse. So, like, if this was an in-person class and you had documentation like a doctor's note, jury duty, or something like that, all right, I can work with that. But you need to let me know as soon as you know. Provide in your email, provide that documentation, and I'm happy to work with you to get that taken care of. But if you just email me on a Saturday or something, it's like, hey, I'm having tech issues, you don't have to figure it out, or you should have started earlier. All right, you do have some extra credit assignments, and I'll point those out in a minute. But the first 2 are mandatory. The first 3 rather are mandatory, and the last 3 are optional. So they all provide a number of points that can pad your grade. All right, in this class, because it's only 8 weeks, you get 3 absences. On the 4th absence, you get cut out. So as you approach that 2nd or 3rd absence, I will email you and say, hey, be careful. And again, I take attendance each week, each Monday, based on those attendance assignments. So you want to make sure you get in and complete them. That doesn't mean you have to make 100. It just means you have to complete them. All right, so get in, get that done. And again, on that 4th absence, I cut you out. On the 3rd absence, or 2nd or 3rd absence, I send you emails with this absence appeal form, so you can access it through the syllabus. Click on it, fill it out, whatever. So the absence appeal process takes about a week. If you have any documentations that says I had a valid reason to be out, one, you should have sent that to me along the way, and I can excuse absences as I need to. But if you have documentation for valid reasons, you can submit those, and you want to get that done as soon as possible, because in a typical in-person class, you would just keep coming to class until the process worked itself out. But this is an online class, and if I cut you out, you don't have access to Canvas or your homework, unless once you get into Pearson, you can bookmark, and I do encourage you to bookmark the website to Pearson, so in case that happens, you can access Pearson and continue to do your assignments, and that way, whenever you are let back into class, everything will resync and you'll be back on track. So there's that. But again, if I cut you out of class, you lose access to Canvas. So I do attach this link to the email that I send out, warning you about your absences or letting you know you're out of absences. Every class is different. Every teacher is different. My take on AI is, one, as you can see here, your homework is only 30% of your grade. So you can't pass this class on homework alone. So for that reason, I am allowing you to use any AI chatbot you want, whether it's Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, or anything else that has come out since we've talked, to use that to help you do your homework. I would encourage you to use more than one. That way you can compare the two. They are getting better all the time, but you still want to have that comparison, because sometimes they do try to give you the wrong answer. If you're only looking at one, you're taking it at face value. But if you have two, you can compare. And also, depending on how complicated the problem is, they may give you two different ways of working on it, even though you get the same answer. And that is also beneficial to you. So you can use AI as a tool, but I would encourage you not to let AI do your homework for you. And it doesn't benefit you to do that because, one, if it can do it for you, and this goes for anything in this class or outside of class, if AI can do the job for you, what are you for? All right. And then outside of that, I would also say, if you let AI do all your homework when it comes time to take the test, you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to be able to do anything because you haven't practiced. And that's what it comes down to in math, is you got to work that muscle. You got to build that muscle up as far as practicing all these problems and building the skills. And so you can, when it comes time for the test, you can do that. Okay. And then we do have two discussions in this class. One opens at the beginning, one opens after the midterm. All right. For each of those, you need two responses. You need a post by Wednesday, and then you need to do two responses, and those responses need to be substantive. If you just say I agree or I like that or whatever, that doesn't count for anything. It technically is a reply, but I'm not going to count it. I'm looking for follow-up questions. I'm looking for you to share more about yourself, something to keep the conversation going. And then, of course, you have your exams, two, midterm and final. All right. Again, and no makeups will be given. So you want, as soon as the word goes out, hey, you can schedule your midterm, or hey, you can schedule your final, you want to get on that as soon as possible, and then don't schedule anything else during that week, because I'm sure you're taking multiple classes and you don't want life to interfere with that as much as possible, as much as it's in your control. Okay, we are going to have Easter during our time together, but again, this is an online class, so that doesn't really affect you. Depending on which class or campus you're closest to, you can come and join the math lab, and it's free. They are there around the clock every day of the week, and they'll be happy to help you do whatever. If it's after hours, you can join BrainFuse Tutoring, which is like going to the math lab, but it's online. You can interact with somebody there anytime, 24/7. If you have issues with Canvas, you can let me know first, and then if I can't help you figure it out, these are some places you can go to help the e-learning lab or the e-learning or Canvas itself. And then the libraries are really great resources, either for study groups or just quiet spaces. Or I know at the DeSoto campus, they have extra things like writing labs and 3D printers and all the extra stuff, so that you can play around and do it, all kinds of things like that. So that's it's a nice resource to have, and I encourage you to use it. All right, and then you can look at the rest of this stuff. All right, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. All right, first of all, as I said, this is an abbreviated class because it's only 8 weeks. Each of the first 3 weeks has an assignment that is due, that counts for your attendance. Your midterm is going to count for your attendance. The second 3 weeks after the midterm are going to count. You have assignments that are due, and they're going to count for attendance. And then the last week, your final counts as your attendance. Okay. And again, as it currently is set up, P3 is due in the first week, 1-4 is due in the second week, and 2-4 is due in the third week. But you see, you have extra assignments here. Okay. All the other assignments that are not listed in this far right column are going to be due before the week of the midterm. The midterm, the week of your exam, midterm or final, it should be devoted completely to preparing and taking that exam. Okay, so all the assignments that are not listed in this far right column are going to be due before the midterm or before the final, depending on which section they fall in. Okay, so with that said, let's jump into the modules. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with any online class is you want to go to your dashboard and you want to go to the Getting Ranger Ready course. It's a very simple course. Follow the instructions, and when you complete it, you'll be given a code. You'll take that code, you'll plug it in here. This is one of your first assignments that are for bonus points, and you'll get like 2 points for that. Then you want to go to the welcome page where you are going to see a little bit of information about myself, a little bit of information about the course. I have links to each of the discussions. The first one is just an intro to introduce yourself to me and the class, and the second one is all about times you've used math in your real life. Could be basic, could be more complicated. You tell me, okay? And then you'll watch this welcome video, and then online classes are not for everybody. So after you've done all this and you kind of get a feel for it, if you think this is something you can't do, you need to drop the course. If it's something you think you can do, then you would want to go ahead and do the student responsibility quiz, which again is one of those mandatory assignments that will give you bonus points for. It's like 10 to 15 questions, and just say I agree to everything, and then you can move on. Now, you have to do that and before you get access to all the homework assignments. And before I do that, let me go back to the homepage and walk you through how to get into Pearson. So there's instructions here, and what you want to do is you want to go to course materials. You'll do that first. It'll load. You'll click your course. So launch courseware. All right, and then that's going to give you a code. You're going to take that code and copy it to your clipboard. It's not going to do it for me because I'm a teacher, but you're going to click launch courseware. It's going to give you a code. You're going to take that code, come back to Canvas, and then go to Access Pearson. You'll click on that, and then you will log in. I recommend using your student email to log in. Log in, use that code. All right, you do not have to pay for it again. It is included in your tuition for this class. So get the code. That's what you paid for. Get the code, plug it into Pearson. All right, and again, this walks you through it step by step, what to expect. So there's that, and then you should be off to the races. Again, I can't stress this enough, that once you get into Pearson for the first time, or maybe the second time, then I would go ahead and bookmark it to my menu bar here, and that way, in case you ever do get cut out of class, or you just want to go straight there and work on your homework, you can do that. Now, let's go back to modules. I have it set up like this. Everything before the midterm is in first half notes. I've separated, you can find your first discussion here, and I've separated the assignments that are due week by week, and then all the assignments that are due before midterms. I highly encourage you to go and do these assignments as we go through. So like that first week is all of the P lessons, P3, P4, P5, or P3, P5, P6. I highly recommend you do those all in the first week as we cover them. All right, but the first one's only due that week. You have until the midterm to get the other two done, and then same thing for the other assignments. So within that first 3 weeks, you have enough time to get all this stuff done, but the only ones due are the ones that I've assigned for attendance purposes. All right, same thing for the second half of the semester. You have 3 that are for attendance purposes, and everything else should be due by the final. Now, you will have an announcement sent out at the opening of the course for midterm sign up. So you would go here, and all the information. If you want to take it with a proctor, you would click here with the Sign Up Genius, and you would sign up for a spot to take it here on campus. If you want to take it with e-learning, for some reason or other, none of the time slots in the Sign Up Genius don't work, or you have accommodations or something like that, you would sign up through Smarter Proctoring, which is over here on the left. You can click that, and these are some videos that show you how to do all that, and you can again click that and go forward. Whichever one you decide to book with, there's a bonus assignment that provides you with some extra points, that as soon as you have a reservation, go ahead and click on this assignment and put that information in there, and that'll give you some points for that. Just a way for me to see who's done it and who hasn't, and I'll give you bonus points for that. Now, going back, we have the midterm review. Before the midterm, before the final, you have a proctored exam agreement that you need to do. It has to be done before you take your exam. It's not super difficult. It's just it's kind of like the student responsibility quiz, where it's 10 to 15 questions. You go in and say I agree to everything, and again, if you say I agree, that means you are accountable for it. So it tells you about the calculator policy. It tells you that you can't leave during the middle of the test. So if you need to use the bathroom, you need to do it before or hold it. Basic stuff like that. All right, and then what you need to bring. So you need something that you need an ID, Canvas login, something to write with. Most proctors provide scratch paper, but if you're not sure, you can always bring your own. And then one of these approved calculators, and we will be checking for it to see what kind you have. So be mindful of that. Here's some things you might want to be aware of. And then here's a review. You have a blank version that you can print out or download. You have a key version, so as you work it out, you can compare your answers to mine. And then in the midterm review video, you have me working it out problem by problem, and you can check on that as you as you go. And so if you need any help with that, if you practice the midterm review and do it well and understand it, you shouldn't have any problem with the midterm. Okay, so and if you still don't feel prepared after doing all this, please feel free to reach out, and I will help you as much as I can. Now, the midterm review, sign-up review is all the same. And then again, we had the student responsibility quiz, the access code, the range rated access code were bonus points. All right, and then you have the midterm exam time that you can fill in, the final exam time. Somewhere about week 4 or 5, you'll get an announcement for the course evaluation quiz. The course evaluation is how am I as a teacher. It's anonymous, but once you take the survey, you will get an email confirmation, and you can submit that email confirmation that says you did it to this quiz, and I'll give you points for it. The feedback quiz is more about the course setup in Canvas. It's not anonymous, and I would like your feedback on, is there anything that you found that I need to work on as far as the whole class is set up? Whether it is how the homepage is laid out, how the modules are laid out, is it too clean? Or sorry, is it too messy? Is it hard to follow? Do you want the homework assignments to be set up differently than they currently are? I just want your feedback for that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I wish you the best, and please feel free to reach out at any time over anything that you may struggle with. Oh, one last thing. Google Chrome is the browser of choice for both Canvas and Pearson. So if you're not using one of those, you're going to probably run into issues that can be avoided if you just use Google Chrome. And Google Chrome works on the iPad, works on the computer. Okay, so you shouldn't have any issues using Google Chrome on the iPad or computer. All right, I don't recommend using your phone for any of this. All right, so that's it for me now. And I look forward to working with you this semester. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me with my email, my phone number, and of course you can book a meeting anytime that I'm not in class. So, all right guys, I will talk to you later.